Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Summer Janae, and today I am going to talk about a hot topic, student loan cancellation. And I want to talk about student loan cancellation because I myself have benefited from student loan cancellation. I want to walk you through what how I got to this process, if you will. I don't foresee me wrapping up this topic today in one video, but I will get the discussion going and just talk about it from, and the reason, let me back up. The reason I want to talk about it is because it's all over the news. It's all over the internet, in the news feeds. And the company that Mohelia is in big trouble. And they were my provider when I received the debt cancellation. But when I tell you it was a struggle, oh my gosh. So let me back up. I had some undergrad loans. I had definitely loans from my master's. Sorry, I don't know what I said to make my camera go off, but it did. But I said I had loans from undergrad, from my graduate program, and then from my doctoral program. So the reason I kept going to school or getting more loans is when I was a military spouse, I was having a hard time finding employment. So even though I had 2 bachelor's degrees when I first got married, I was having a hard time finding employment when I moved to my first duty station. So I thought, well, maybe I need to get another degree, because all of the responses I was receiving from applying for federal positions was, you don't meet the minimum qualifications, even when it said you could apply based on education. So I completed my master's within 2 years of getting married, and that still didn't seem to help. But what it did disclose to me was I was being discriminated against, because my master's at the time, my master's was in human resources. And when we moved to the duty station where there were a lot of human resources jobs, they kept saying, oh, we can't reach you because of the veterans. But there was one position that came out and there were like 10 vacancies. And for the 10 vacancies, it said you can qualify based on education. So I told my husband, look, at this grade and what they're offering in their developmental positions, if I don't get one of these jobs, something is going on. And sure enough, something was going on. Long story short, there was an investigation and they were skipping over me even with spousal preference. But by the time that investigation happened, by that time I was well into a PhD program and was at the end of the program for the coursework, and all I had was my dissertation. So I ended up completing the dissertation, doing it on spousal employment, and now I had all of these loans. I eventually got picked up with the government, and back in 2007, I think it came out as that the government had the program that after 10 years of service, that they would write off, you could have your student loans written off. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I was working for the government, I was making my payments, and I thought everything was good to go until it came to fruition that around 2017, 2018, when people were trying to start getting their loans discharged, that, oh, there's a problem, and oh, all of these additional stipulations were in place. So when I first had loans, my loans were with Sallie Mae. So they went from Sallie Mae to Navient to, I think, Fedloan. No, from Sallie Mae to Fedloan to Navient to Mohelia. So I thought when I had COVID in 2021, and I was in quarantine, that when my Navient account went to all zeros, I thought they had finally processed my student loan discharge, and I was so excited and praising God, and that wasn't it. They transferred them from Navient to Mohelia. So I had to fight, and mind you, by this time, by January, I had submitted a packet for discharge in October. So I'm thinking, yes, that was not it. So when I figured out that that was not it, and the correspondence was starting to come, I was like, what in the world is going on? It was almost like you had to keep starting over. They were telling you, well, it's not enough. You didn't make enough payments, or none of the payments you made counted towards discharge, and this is what you're gonna have to do. So everybody has so many bad things to say about COVID, but I can say at least the provisions that were placed or put in place as a result of COVID, especially as it related to student loan discharge, was a true blessing. They eventually ended up discharging my loans. I don't know if it was the end of last year, like November, December of 2023, or the very beginning of this year. And they fell off my credit report in, I would say, around June of 24. But it was a long, hard battle, just trying to stay on top of the people at Mohelia. They would get so nasty on the phone. You literally would have to say, like, write down, I talked to this person, because when they get on the call, they're going so fast, giving you their name, their badge information, all that. You need to have a pen and paper ready if they answer the phone, number one. So if they answer the phone, you write down whoever they said you're talking to, their badge number, and write down how long you were on the call, how long you were on hold, what you talked about. What I noticed was they kept kicking back my paperwork saying, oh, you need to certify this time, even though the amount of time I've already certified was enough. Or they'll say, oh, you need to certify for now before we can look at it. And again, when I first started submitting it in October of 21, I think it was, I had enough time then to meet the 10 years. Then they would they would only certify enough time so that it would look like you have more time, but there would be more time that you've already worked and submitted for that's not accounted for and not certified for. So it's like a whole numbers game with Mohelia. And I'm glad that they will not have, well, maybe that was, I may be mixing them up, because I saw something, maybe that was Navient who can't have contracts to do the student loan payments anymore. But I think that they need to do the same thing to Mohelia, because that was ridiculous. Like, I literally had to file several times with the ombudsman that, hey, you guys are not counting all my all of the time I submitted. I can see it on your page, but for whatever reason, you're not giving me credit. I've submitted the proper documentation. When I say you have to stay on them, like staying on them to get your loans discharged is like a full-time job. Like, to call them and like get somebody on the phone who will, number one, listen, who number two, understands what you're asking them or telling them, is life-changing. And then three, sometimes you have to call and get a supervisor. It's like, can I speak to your supervisor, please? And it's a lot. I really think they need to reform the way the student loan repayment is working, because like when I submitted my stuff the first time in the mail, I submitted it with enough stuff for them to for whatever reason my camera keeps turning off, but I just wanted to stop by to let you know that I'm starting this series on student loan discharge, so you'll know everything you need to do in order to complete the process. I did have 6 figures discharged, and I'll give you the exact number either at the end of this video or in the next video when I walk you through the process of what you need to do in terms of filling out the paperwork. But it's a fairly simple process, but they make it difficult with all the other dragging their feet with trying to help you or giving you the wrong information so that it's prolonged and you miss the window, and it's a hot mess. But my advice to you is to stick with it and know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. If I could get my loans discharged, you can get yours discharged too. In the next video or two that I make, I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 that I make to walk you through the process. We're going to get you set up so that you know exactly what you need to do, where you need to go, what you need to submit. If you have to upload and resubmit something again, how to do that so that you can stay on top of the process and not get discouraged and get your loans discharged, especially if you've been working for one of the organizations that qualify you to meet the requirements to get your loans discharged. You absolutely need to be on top of that and get your loans discharged. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about anything I've said regarding the student loan discharge process, or anything in particular you want me to cover in the other 2 videos, please put that in the comment box so that I can make sure I include that in the next video. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me get my first 100 subscribers. Also, hit that notification bell so that you will know when I drop new content. Also, like and share this video if you know someone who can benefit from the material I'm sharing in this video. Thank you again so much for watching. Go be great, and my name is Summer Janae. Have a great day.